Okay, so let's rewind to the beginning. Keanu wasn't exactly born in Hollywood, right? Born in Beirut, Lebanon.
Wow, yeah, quite a start.
Right. British mother, American father, and his dad's side, Hawaiian and Chinese ancestry. Talk about a blend of cultures.
And they moved around a lot too, didn't they? Sydney, New York, Toronto.
Yeah, so diverse upbringing, for sure.
Makes you wonder how all those different experiences shaped him as an actor.
Adaptability, right? Having to constantly adjust to new places, new people.
Exactly, like a masterclass in empathy, almost. Seeing things from different perspectives. Pretty crucial for an actor, I'd say.
And it wasn't all smooth sailing. Early on, he struggled with dyslexia, which can be a real challenge.
Oh, absolutely. Especially for a young person, finding your way in the world and then having that added hurdle.
But he found his outlet in sports. Became a star goalie in hockey.
The wall, they called him, right?
Yep, the wall. But then an injury.
And that was it for hockey.
Yeah, career ending. But maybe, overcoming these challenges early on, the dyslexia, the injury, maybe that gave him the resilience he'd need for Hollywood.
Could be. I mean, setbacks, they're inevitable, but it's how you handle them. And it seems like Keanu, he always bounces back.
Bet he does. Talk about a plot twist, though, from hockey star to, Keanu Reeves.
It's a pretty wild trajectory, isn't it?
It is. So how did this hockey goalie end up captivating audiences on the big screen? It all started with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Ugh, classic. Pure fun, that movie. And Keanu as Ted, so lovable. Airheaded, but in the best way possible.
He totally nailed that role.
Yeah.
And it's so different from, the serious action hero we know him as now. It really shows his range.
It does, but then boom, he shifts gears completely with Point Break.
Oh yeah, starring alongside Patrick Swayze. Talk about a dynamic duo.
Undercover FBI agent infiltrating a group of surfers who might be bank robbers. What's not to love?
Now those action scenes, man. Remember that chase on the beach? Keanu going after Bodie.
Intense. It was like watching him transform into a bona fide action star right there on screen.
And Point Break proved he could handle the stunts, the drama, the whole deal. Then came Speed.
Oh man, Speed. That movie was something else.
Total game changer. Keanu and Sandra Bullock, this edge-of-your-seat thriller, and the audience was hooked from the get-go.
That bus, man, once it hit 50 miles per hour, you were locked in. And that chemistry between Keanu and Sandra, especially in those tight bus scenes, it's like you could feel the trust building between them.
And it wasn't just the chemistry. The whole concept was so fresh, so high stakes, it just clicked with people.
And boom, blockbuster hit. Keanu's a certified box office draw. But, all these roles, from the goofy to the action-packed, it's like they were leading up to something.
You're thinking The Matrix.
Exactly. Neo. I mean, talk about a defining role.
The Matrix was huge, a cultural phenomenon, really.
For sure. But it was more than just the special effects, the fight scenes, all that.
Oh yeah, way more.
It was tapping into something deeper, Destiny, choice. What is reality even?
Right. It really made you think, who wasn't quoting "whoa" or "there is no spoon" back then?
Everybody.
Yep.
But it wasn't just cool lines. It made you question your own perception.
And Keanu as Neo, he just embodied that perfectly. That whole awakening, going from ordinary guy to, the one.
Yeah, and it's interesting how he seems drawn to these roles that explore those bigger questions, Like even before The Matrix, there was Little Buddha.
Oh yeah, he played Siddhartha Gautama, the founder of Buddhism.
Exactly. So there's this depth to him, this curiosity about life's big questions. It goes beyond just being a Hollywood star.
That's a great point. He's choosing roles that seem to align with his own personal journey, his own search for meaning even.
It's like he's living those questions out on screen, in a way.
So speaking of journeys, let's talk about the period after The Matrix. He did films like Constantine, The Lake House. They got mixed reactions.
Yeah, some people saw them as kind of missteps.
But I think it was more about him taking risks, trying different things.
Stretching himself as an actor.
Exactly, like Constantine. He's this darker, brooding demon hunter battling his own demons. So different from Neo.
Showed a whole other side of him. And The Lake House, totally different vibe.
Oh, I love that movie. Sweet, romantic, he plays an architect who falls in love with a doctor through letters.
Letters sent across time, right? Such a unique premise.
It was. And it proved he could handle those emotionally driven roles, too.
Totally. But it wasn't all sunshine and roses during this time, though. He went through some really tough personal stuff.
Yeah, unimaginable tragedy. The loss of his daughter, and then his partner, Jennifer Syme. Just heartbreaking.
It's hard to even fathom that kind of pain.
And it reminds you that behind the fame, behind those iconic roles, He's a human being who's experienced real loss, real grief.
Yeah. But he's carried himself with such grace, such resilience.
He could have retreated from the spotlight, but he didn't. He channeled it into his work and his philanthropy. He gives back so much.
It says a lot about his character. Doesn't let fame define him.
He's known for his humility, his kindness. You hear all these stories about him taking public transportation, treating fans like friends.
And donating millions to charity, often anonymously.
Yeah. It's like he understands that fame is fleeting and chooses to focus on what really matters. Connection, compassion, making a difference.
And you see that in his acting too. He completely immerses himself in his roles.
Whether it's training for months to master those crazy fight scenes or digging deep into the emotions of a character, he's all in.
Talk about dedication. John Wick.
Oh yeah. Talk about a career resurgence.
Stylized action, that whole intricate world they built.
And Keanu,
Yeah.
completely committed to the role.
John Wick, he's this mature, nuanced action hero. But there's a real sadness to him too, a sense of loss.
It's not just mindless action. It's a story about grief, revenge, what we'll do for the people we love.
Exactly. And those action sequences, breathtaking.
The way he moves, the gun fu, he's like a ballet dancer with a gun.
And a lot of his own stunts too, right?
Yeah, he trained extensively in martial arts, firearms. That's dedication to his craft.
And it's something you see throughout his career, learning to surf for Point Break, mastering Kung Fu for The Matrix.
He doesn't just play the roles, he becomes them. Pushes himself physically and emotionally to make it authentic.
And it goes beyond acting too. Think about his band, Dogstar.
Oh yeah, they toured, released albums back in the 90s.
And he even did voice acting for the video game Cyberpunk 2077. Played a character named Johnny Silverhand.
He's a multifaceted artist, always exploring, pushing boundaries.
Never content to just rest on his laurels.
So we've gone from the goofy fun of Bill and Ted to the mind-bending Matrix to the all-out action of John Wick.
Quite the journey.
It is. But what is it about Keanu that makes him so beloved? Why does he resonate with so many people across generations even?
It's more than just his talent, or his films even. I think it's his genuineness, you know?
Yeah.
His humility, his kindness.
You don't see that a lot in Hollywood, do you? Especially at his level. It's not all about ego and extravagance with him.
Nope. It's those stories you hear about him giving up his seat on the subway, helping a stranded motorist.
Donating millions to charity without making a big deal about it.
Exactly. Like, he doesn't need the attention. He's just Keanu.
And people respect that.
They do. It's refreshing, almost.
It is. Like, fame is just a side effect of his work, not the goal.
He focuses on the craft, on connecting with the audience, and the rest just sort of happens.
And that comes through in his acting, too. You can tell he puts his heart into it.
Whether it's the physical training, like for those intense John Wick fight scenes, or just going deep emotionally to portray a character's grief, he's all in.
He's inspiring, really.
He is. Reminds you that success isn't about shortcuts, it's about hard work, dedication.
Striving for excellence. And he's also been so open about his own struggles, his losses, his search for meaning.
He doesn't shy away from vulnerability.
Which just makes him even more relatable, I think.
Absolutely. Reminds us that even those who seem to have it all go through tough times, experience heartbreak.
It's a good reminder in a world that often feels like it's all about projecting perfection.
It is. He's like, hey, it's okay to be flawed, to be vulnerable. It's okay to just be human.
And I think that's what makes Keanu such an icon, ultimately. The talent is there for sure, but he's also kind, compassionate, authentic.
He embodies qualities we all aspire to. Right?
Yeah. In our personal lives, our professional lives, you name it.
He shows us we can be ambitious, driven, but also be kind, generous, grounded.
So what can we take away from Keanu Reeves' journey?
I think it's a reminder to embrace who we are, to face our challenges with grace and determination, and use our talents to make the world a little bit better.
To stay true to ourselves, follow our passions, and never give up on those dreams.
No matter how tough things get. Because as Keanu shows us, anything's possible if you've got the heart, the drive, and the belief in yourself.
I love that. So the next time you're feeling lost, discouraged, unsure of your path,
remember Keanu.
Remember his resilience, his kindness, his dedication to his craft.
Let his story inspire you to embrace your own journey, to face those challenges head on, and keep believing in the power of your dreams.
Beautifully said. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of Keanu Reeves.
We hope you enjoyed it.
And maybe learned a thing or two about what it means to be a good person, a decent human being.
In a world that sometimes feels anything but.
Keep watching his films. Keep an eye out for what he does next. And remember, whether you see him on the big screen or who knows, maybe even bump into him on the subway.
Take a moment to appreciate the man behind the legend.
Because he's more than just an action hero. He's a reminder that even in the midst of all the chaos and darkness out there, we can choose kindness, choose authenticity, and choose to live a life that truly matters.